at the hill, the first thing that you're going to need to do is open up your browser, and Chrome works really well. The next thing is that you're going to my website, which you should have already bookmarked at teacherweb.com. Here is my home page again. And then on the very bottom left, I've got Connect Ed, and let's click on that. And no matter what level of math you're in, it's all the same McGraw-Hill student login. So we're going to click on this link. And here is the Connect Ed site. Again, if I were you, I would immediately bookmark it so that you don't have to go through any other process other than going to bookmarks. Go ahead and log in. Let me just say that many of you, if not most of you, have a McGraw-Hill login from last year in 7th grade. It's going to be the same thing this year, but I am going to hand them out in class because you may have forgotten, and there may be some new students new to Lindero. So I'm just going to log in as if I was a student right now. And if that happens to you, it means I typed wrong, so because it should have worked. So here we go. You will only see the right book, course 3. This is the algebra book. I have both books in my, in quotes, book bag. So I'm going to click on this. And if you were on this site last year, you should notice that the student portal is much more streamlined on the dashboard. I guess they decided to make it a little less busy. So let's see, there's only 3 things on the dashboard, 3 major things. There is the ebook, so let's click on that. This is the electronic version of your book. Depending on your internet speed, it will take a little while to boot it up and upload it, but once it's there, it'll go pretty quickly. It usually returns you to the page you were on before, so I must have been on page 7 for some reason. And so I'm just going to go back just to show you you can move the page that way, or I can move the page this way. Let's see what's on page 100. And on page 100, what's going to happen is these are all the icons for help, just like last year. There's a vocab, so if I click on that, it's going to give me a vocabulary review. Okay, I'm going to go back to, by the way, you can't just go back here because I'm no longer in the book. It took me out of the book. Kids asked that last year. I'm going to go back to the launch.html. That's the book. There is a toolkit. If I click on that, these are virtual manipulatives like, I don't know, algebra tiles. I haven't actually used those yet, just saying. And then there's a really important one called the check. And we're going to talk about the check more later, but under review, this is now chapter 1, real numbers review. The 2 checks are a chapter test review and a standardized testing review, which would be for your California standardized testing at the end of the year. Okay, I'm going to click out of the book. I just wanted you to know that it was there, just like last year. Okay, so we've clicked on this book. I think it's pretty obvious that right here are all the lesson resources. So there's the vocab, there's something called the personal tutor, wherever you see this little bubble thing. There's the toolkit. Let's keep going to the right. There's the check. This is the same as last year. It's called eHelp. For a couple of problems on each section of the book, they'll do a lesson by lesson solution, and we'll look at that in a moment. This is worksheets, but generally students don't click on the worksheets on their own. I usually assign them. And RTI, it stands for Response to Intervention. It's actually a reteach per lesson, and it's actually very, very good in case, you know, someone's helping you at home, an older brother or sister, or mom, dad, grandma. You have a tutor that comes to your house. They're really good worksheets. And this is in case English is not your first language. Okay, Notice as well on the dashboard is the homework assignment. So I'm going to try and click on that, and notice I can't click on that on this page. So we're going to talk about that. To be honest, I'm not quite sure why not, but it doesn't click. Okay, let's click here. When I open that up, now I can see all the chapters. And if I want to go to stay in chapter 1, on this right side of the 2 columns will be all the lessons for that particular chapter. So we're in lesson 1 right now, rational numbers. So where is everything from last year? Here it is. It's hidden under menu. So again, if you didn't use this last year, you don't know that, but most of this was on the dashboard originally. Connect Ed, when I click on that, it gets me back to my book bag. There really shouldn't be any reason for you to ever do that. I can't think of a reason you'd want to do that. So let's go back to menu, and let's go to resources. So this is a great quick way to go to all the resources for chapter 1, lesson 1. My suggestion is you change this to 48 from 12 results, and you'll see the entire amount of resources at your disposal to help you. Sometimes this could be overwhelming that they're all here. We're going to talk about that in a second, but all you need to do is hover over each one and it will kind of explain what it is. So this one says writing decimals as fractions. A teacher's about to explain a step-by-step solution. Okay, so let's go to that. These are the tutors, and students last year said that they like the tutors as one of the best things to help them. So I'm going to click on the word tutor on the left. It tells me that there are 6 tutors, and there they are. And so now I can hover, and I know I'm going to get a tutor. I'm not going to open them up. It's a teacher explaining how to solve a particular problem. Now, to go back to all resources, I could click back now, but generally most students will just click all resources and they'll get back to the original. So let's go to eHelp. There was one eHelp, and there's usually only one eHelp per lesson. And the way to open things up is you click on this little cog and open the resource. And what this is generally 2 problems solved by McGraw-Hill step by step, not just the odd answers in the back of the book. This is actually how you solve the problem. So for lesson 1-1, it was on page 11, it was number 5 and number 9. And if you go to the book, you'll see these little houses, and that tells you that the eHelp is online. Okay, so let's go back to all resources. Let's go, I guess I will go to response to intervention and show you that again it is a reteach. And what's nice about these reteaches, and I assign them a lot, is that that one's in a Word doc. Let me see if this one's online. Yeah, this is online. That's why you see 2 of them. So one of them you can download as a Word doc, which I could show it to you that way, but here I can show you that it's also online. And again, what's nice about the reteaches, the RTIs, is it explains a couple of problems on how to do them and then gives you a few problems. So I'm going to click out of that. I'm going to go back to all resources. I saved the top for last because I want to talk to you about the check. Each lesson has a self-check. Last year we did them as extra credit. This year I have changed that completely. I feel the homework grade has not been really indicative of your actual learning from homework in the past, and this is the best way that you will know, and I will know, and whoever's helping you will know whether you have the major concept of the homework. Here's what's nice about it. Okay, here it is, self-check quiz. We're gonna open the resource. It's online, and it's click, 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 click. Take a look. It's 5 problems. I don't think any of them are more than 5 problems, and you're going to do this every time we do a lesson. So if chapter 1, let's take a look. I'll go back here. Chapter 1, let's count the number of lessons, has 10 lessons. For this chapter, you will have to do 10 self-checks as you do the homework. And again, those percentages will actually be part of your homework grade. Let's go back to it. Look at how easy this is after doing lesson one. Let's see what happens if I click check it without actually doing it. It warns me that there are unanswered questions. Do I still want to submit this to your teacher? And I say yes. And of course it gives me a score of 0 out of 5. I still don't know you got 0 out of 5 until you put your name in here, you put your student email address, not your personal email address, and you send the results to me, msoberi at lvusd.org, which I gave you in class. You should have written that down. Plus, it's online, multiple places. Okay, but I'm not going to send it to Mrs. Soberi because she said in class that she's only going to count it if I get an 80% or more. And so now I'm going to try again. And so what it does is it resorts the problems. For some problems, it actually gives you different problems. It all depends. It'll give you a hint. I gotta tell you, the hints are not always the best. It says express 3/10 as a fraction. It says in what decimal place is 3? But if you don't know it's 3/10, yeah, chances are you're not going to know that either, but it's 3/10. 32 hundredths as a fraction, okay, would be 32 hundredths, but what do you have to do? You have to simplify, divide by the GCF, and it should be 8/25. 13 over 20 as a decimal. The hint is to divide, so you could divide that. There's another way, by the way, multiply by 5 to make it out of a decimal place, out of 100. And so that is 65 hundredths. 12 of 14 boys are right-handed. I don't feel like reading this. I'm just going to randomly, let's see what the hint says. I didn't even read it. Divide 12 by 14. Now, see, now that's a good hint. So I'm going to pick one of these. I don't know. Seriously, students, I don't know. I'm just clicking. I'm not doing it. Write 15 with a bar over it as a fraction in simplest form. That's going to be 15 over 99, but that would be wrong because I need to simplify, divide by 3. Okay, that should be right. Let's see what the hint is. Multiply each side by 100. Okay, that's another way of doing it. We'll talk about that in class. Okay, check it. I should have, oh my goodness, I guessed correctly on number 4. I have 100%. Thought I was going to have 80%. So I'm not going to try again. Instead, I'm going to put my full name, my student Lindero email address, and msoberi at lvusd, and I'm going to send it. And I'm actually just going to send it like this for now, so you can see what happens when I send it. lvusd.org, just because students last year said I don't know that it's sent. But look what happens. You should get a pop-up. By the way, on McGraw-Hill, you need to have your pop-ups enabled for McGraw-Hill. It says your results have been sent. Okay, so we're going to click out of that. And we're going to go back to menu. Okay, so the next thing that I'm going to show you, I'm not going to show you my discussions or messages or notebook. I guess I can show you glossary. I'll show you glossary. It should be alphabetical. Yeah. So let's say I'm looking for the definition of median. I go to M and I go to median and it'll explain what median is. So that's pretty helpful. Okay. So now I want to go to home, and so I'm going to go to my dashboard, and there I am again. Okay. Alrighty. So now we've still got to figure out why homework's not working. Let me go here. Oh, okay. See, I'm not as familiar with this as well because it used to be that you could click on this. Okay, so now we need to click on the menu and go to homework, and there it is. There's nothing due right now, but there's something due later. Oh, that could be. You'll have to let me know. Maybe because it's not due till Monday, you have to click on it by going to the menu. Maybe when it's due, you can actually click on it. But just like last year, we're going to click on that. I will give you some instructions on how to do the homework, and then I put the self-check quiz right in your student portal so you wouldn't forget to do it. I'm going to do that for every lesson in chapter 1, and then you're just going to have to know to do it on your own. By the way, once you solve this and submit it, you do need to hit done, because done will send a message to me that you have finished it. Okay, I'm going to go back home and I'm going to say goodbye for now. I'll see you in class. I hope you enjoy the McGraw-Hill portal. The 8th graders thought it was really, really helpful last year. Bye.